welcome to another Ryan Sports Reviews. Tonight I am reviewing Columbus Crew 2, Nashville SC 0 in the second Eastern Conference semifinal of the day and the 2020 MLS Cup playoffs. Columbus Crew goes through to face the New England Revolution in the MLS Eastern Conference Final December 6th at MAPFRA Stadium. The goals were scored as follows. In the 99th minute, in extra time, Pedro Santos scores, gets the ball passed to him from a cut-in by José Zardes. He crosses it in, centers it in. Pedro Santos puts it on the volley, half volley, past Willis to make it 1-0. Then in the 103rd minute, José Zardes gets a ball all alone, runs in himself, taps it in past Willis to make it 2-0. That's the way it would end. Columbus are your winners on the night in extra time. 2 goals in the first half of extra time. That's all they would need. The stats were as follows: 16-17 on shots, 4-4 shots on target, 54% possession to 46% possession, 621 passes to 553 passes, 82% pass accuracy to 76% pass accuracy, 78% pass accuracy, 14 fouls to 16 fouls, 0 yellows to 2 yellows, no red cards on either side, 2 offside by Columbus, 0 offside by Nashville, 11 corners to 6 corners. So the game was pretty even, I would say. Nashville defended well, especially in regular time. They defended well. They were amazing. They knew where to be. They won more duels. They played their game plan. They shut down Columbus. And they had a couple of chances that if they put away, we could be talking about a penalty shootout instead of loss in extra time. Because they could have scored 2 goals, maybe 3. Nashville had another good game. The reason why they lost, to me, was those 2 mistakes in the first half of extra time. Those were 2 defensive mistakes. Uncharacteristically, I might add. They collapsed into the box to try to defend the pass from Zardes, and it goes in behind for Santos, and they couldn't do nothing about it. Then José Zardes, he gets an easy run through. He's in clean, and they make another mistake. They just can't catch up to him. They don't try either, which kind of sucked. It was like they were resigned to the fact, yeah, this one's over. And they still tried to attack late on, but they couldn't get anything special out of it. It's sad because Nashville, before the 99th minute, went 300 minutes in the playoffs without allowing a goal. The whole playoffs up until that point. Did not allow a goal to Miami. Did not allow a goal against Toronto. And didn't allow a goal against Columbus up until the 99th minute. 300 minutes. Plus, I don't know how that adds up, so wait. 90, 180, 30, 90, 200, 210. Another 90, that's 300. 310 minutes without allowing a goal. In the playoffs. That's how good they were. Nashville. And they just let up. They finally broke. And you can't complain about it. Columbus didn't look great. They didn't look great. Now, they didn't look great. Yeah, they pressed a couple of times, but it was like the Toronto match. Nashville played the way they needed to play. They just broke for once. And it didn't happen against Toronto, but it happened against Columbus. And that's what happens. It wasn't a great match. I mean, it was good if you like tactics. It's good if you're a fan of Columbus. And hell, most of it was good if you're a fan of Nashville. But if you're a casual, it wasn't a great match. Now, I love tactics. I love analytics. I love the advanced stats, so to speak. So, to me, I liked this match. I did like it. I thought it was fun. I like goals as much as the next guy, but I also like seeing how tactics work out in matches. I also like seeing the behind the scenes, the the machine, so to speak. Not what comes out of it, like what is the machine, like how does it work, like the technical ability of the teams. That's what I like to see. So I liked this match, don't get me wrong. Most people would say it's boring, but you have to find an appreciation for matches like this. Now, most people would say it wasn't great. You could say that. I liked it. Now, I will admit the play wasn't the best. It was tough. It was physical. Nashville still got stuck in. Columbus got stuck in. The match was the match. It was a tough match. It was a tough match, and Columbus came through. That's all you could say, really. So, with that, to me, that's basically what I saw. Nashville had an amazing defense. They won duels. They pressed. They could have scored 2 goals as well. Early on, they got cleared off the line. The header and the Mukhtar shot got cleared off the line. So, with that said, it could have went to penalties, but they missed those. The ball didn't jump their way this time. Now you could say, but in the Toronto game, they had 3 offside goals. It really should have been 4-2. The ball didn't jump their way until it did jump their way. Fine. But this time, it never seemed to jump back their way. You know? So with that said, I have to do the if I were yous. So Nashville fans, if I were you, because I am going to get deep with this one. Nashville fans, if I were you, be happy. As I said, 300 minutes without allowing a goal in the playoffs. 310 to be exact. Amazing play. Beating Toronto FC and Inter Miami, but especially Toronto FC, and taking it to Columbus, that's an amazing playoff run, especially for a expansion team. An expansion team. That's an amazing run. And you should be proud. Columbus was just better on the night because they got on the 2 mistakes. But with Nashville, they're going to be great. They're going to be top 4 in the East soon. Soon. They're going to be on the top of the East soon. With your Torontos, your Columbuses, your... I don't know about Atlanta. I really don't. We got to see what they do. But top 4 or 5 in the East. Orlando. With Orlando, I have high upside for Nashville. I like Nashville. They're fun to watch. As I said, I like watching the tactics. I like watching the machine of the football club. Not just like the goals. I like seeing what's under the hood, you know? Like, pop it up, be like, oh, I like this defensive setup. I like this offensive setup. Now, me, I'm more offensive-minded. I'm more of like a Maurizio Sarri or a Jurgen Klopp. I'm more offensive-minded, but I can appreciate a good defensive team. Kind of like a Jose Mourinho team, or in this case, a Gary Smith team. I can also appreciate that. And I appreciate what Nashville is. And I guarantee you next year, I will watch a good bit of Nashville games because I do have ESPN+. I do watch as much as I can. I may watch a couple of games like on like rewind, repeat. Nashville's one of them. Because they're good. They're good. They're going to be great. Just believe. Believe. Y'all are going somewhere. And that's facts. So that's how I feel if I were you. Columbus fans, if I were you. You're going to the Eastern Conference Finals. Last year, you couldn't even make the playoffs. Tim Bezbatchenko has lifted you up. And the next game could very likely be the last game in MAPFRA Stadium. Could be. The Crew was saved a couple of years ago. They're back in the playoffs. They're back to glory. And now finally, the Eastern Conference Final at MAPFRA Stadium, the possible final game at MAPFRA Stadium. Probably will be, considering the conference final will probably be Seattle, Kansas City. It's going to be a original versus original. An original could get to the final, or will get to the final at least, in MLS 25. There will be an original in the MLS Cup final. Could be you, could be New England. Hell, it could be an original versus an original if Kansas City pulls something off. The only team, well, if it is Seattle versus Kansas City, Technically, Dallas versus Kansas City would also be originals, too. The only one who aren't originals left is Seattle. Well, Seattle and Minnesota. We have 4 originals left and 2 non-originals. Could be a good time. Would be nice to see an original win the cup. But, with that said, Columbus is doing well. Y'all should be happy. Y'all are about to be one of the dominant forces in the league. And y'all weren't even really that this year. Yeah, you were good at the start, but then the injury problems and all that. But now, this was supposed to be the foundation's year. You've overperformed in this type of year. So with that said, I'm afraid of Columbus, honestly. As a Toronto fan, of course. I'm afraid. Because if you can push it like that, if you could go forward like that in a foundation's year, which considering there were a couple of upsets that could do, but you know, it makes sense. That's basically how I'd feel if I were you. It's about to be your time, trust me. So with that said, if you like this video, like it, share, subscribe. You know what it is. Tell all your friends on Tuesday. I have an Arca High vs. Forge live, watch along, and RSR. Both. Hopefully we see some history from Forge. I'm Ron, I'm out. Peace.